had an audit with the IRS agent from hell who went back 4 years, and I'm like, I'm ready. I pulled out it was blank.
You might have to take notes on this bitch. Famous and Wealthy Podcast, man. Listen, today we got Joy Hunt, the #1 business attorney out of Orlando, Florida. How you doing?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm pretty good. So as far as social media, you know I'm growing. I've been seeing you growing. I want to know exactly how you get your presence so big so fast.
Well, to be honest, I kind of fell into it.
Right.
I'm really a brick and mortar girl. So I have been a business attorney, serial entrepreneur since 2004. I built a lot of businesses in Houston, Texas. I had the #1 hair salon, Super Express. We had about 10 locations between Texas and Louisiana. We also had a car dealership, collision shop. And so although I had a lot of stuff and I was very successful, I was in a toxic and draining marriage.
Oh, toxic marriage.
Toxic marriage, very toxic. Found out that my husband was having affairs with employees, and so I left. But you can't mess the money up, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still going to work. I'm not, causing anything. And about 3 weeks later, we were kind of talking about, I was like really leaving. Like, he didn't think I was really going to leave. Like, no, I'm leaving. Right. And he pulled a gun out and shot at me 5 feet from my son.
Wow.
Correct. So I had to pack up. I was in Houston, Texas. I had to pack up and I moved to Orlando because my brother is there. And for about 30 days, I was working our business remote.
Okay, for everybody who's watching, to get successful, how important it is to not be in a toxic relationship? Like, to get more successful? Because, did it help you or did it bring you,
To be honest, being in a toxic relationship made me stronger.
Okay. Because
I was with someone who I had to do everything. But I did it better. So I was okay with doing it by myself. So as far as like running the business, systems, setting everything up, I'm good at that. So it worked for me. It may not work for everyone.
So you were very independent.
Very.
Okay. So that's the same with me. I feel like I've been in a lot of toxic relationships, which made me very independent. I was on my own at 13. I had to pay somebody at 18 to get me an apartment at 16 to actually get my own home because I was kicked out the house at 13. Had my first baby at 13. You know what I mean? So
you were kicked out the house at 13?
Yes, at 13, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I was on my own. Then I was sleeping in my car for about 3-4 years, working a job illegally, dishwashing. And that's what really made me strong. So I feel like what you're saying is what you go through, it makes you stronger.
Exactly.
But a lot of people that we run into, to be honest, that they hurry up and just want love at a young age. We all want love, right? But we don't understand that sometimes it can mess up our focus or it can help us. You know what I mean? It's just two ways.
Correct.
Ways. So as far as the relationship goes, how was your relationship toxic?
My husband was very verbally abusive.
Right.
He was physically abusive, but it didn't start off with being physical. First, I'm going to hit myself. Then I'm going to break things around me. Then I'm going to throw things at you. So like the physical stuff kind of just grew over time. And I would be like, well, he's just stressed because, our business is stressful. Like mentally, he's not as strong as me. So like if we had a bad month or things would go wrong, it would just like take him out, right? So I'm always thinking of like, well, he's just stressed and he's this. But then once like the money's great, everything is good, we got everything, and you're still like, okay, no, something's wrong. And I really saw it when he started taking it out on our son. So it would go from being like quiet arguments. So he would just come home. He just comes home mad. It's Wednesday, it's mad. It's sun outside, he's mad. And he'll start arguing.
Do you believe that it was drugs or drinking or something?
I believe that I married a narcissistic sociopath. I have studied the personality disorder of NPD. And I really do believe he has that. He's what I know, but mind you, he's a compulsive liar. He's not a drinker. He's scared to do drugs, but it's like something is just not there. Right. And so when your light is too bright for some people, it aggravates them.
Right.
So I'm the kind of, in our business, I'm always saying do X, Y, and Z. And when you don't do X, Y, and Z and it goes wrong, you're mad because I told you don't do it and you did it anyway and it didn't work.
Right. So I know you're a business attorney, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are common mistakes that entrepreneurs make, you think?
Number one is going to be starting their business thinking it's a side hustle, not setting it up like it's Walmart in the very beginning.
Right.
So they don't have their LLC. They are taking Cash App. They don't have their business bank account. Cash App. I said it. Cash App. I said it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You got to run it like it's Walmart. Yeah. Okay. So every multi-million and billion-dollar business starts off in a college dorm room, in an apartment. They all start off small. So no matter where you are right now, you are the CEO of a 7, 8, or 9-figure business. So start it how it started. So run it like it's that. Yeah. So have your LLC, have your business bank account, but make sure your business bank account represents the true income of the business.
So what about a S corp or a C corp?
Okay, so an S corp is not a business entity. It's going to be a tax election. So there's two entities. You can have a form of C corp or you can form an LLC. An LLC has less corporate formalities. So you don't have to have minutes and you don't have to have meetings and all those kind of things. And it's simpler to run. So I always say go with an LLC, but you could do an LLC or a corp. Both of those entities don't have the best tax breaks. So the IRS says, hey, we'll give you a tax break if you want to be taxed as an S corp. So then your LLC or your C corp can file a form with the IRS called a 2553 saying, hey, tax me as an S corp so that you can get those tax benefits. So an LLC is going to pay a self-employment tax. A corporation has double taxation. We don't want those. So that's why you would be taxed as an S corp. But an S corp is not an entity. You can't go to your state and form an S corp. If you're looking to get funding for your business, if you're looking to get grants for your business, money that you don't have to pay back, no credit check, no monthly note, even if you have a criminal history, even if you are a felon, there are felon-friendly grants. I want to help you. Go to my Instagram, JoyHunt, JOIHUNT_ESQ. Click to join my See You at the Bank University and let me help you get your first $10,000 of grant money for your business. See you at the bank.
So a lot of people don't know, like, that they shouldn't take Cash Apps or Zelles and stuff like that. So what if they are? Like, what you suggest?
Zelle is okay because it's going directly into the business bank account. Cash App, I'm going to say this. You can accept Cash App. It's just not the best practice because you want to make sure that eventually you are going to want to go for funding. You want to be able to show that my business is making this amount of money.
Right.
And have verified sources. Number two, you want to have a POS system. You want to have a system that runs all of your sales because when you start making a certain amount of money, sometimes the banks aren't going to really believe that you're making that kind of money. They're going to think you're making it from other sources.
And for people that don't know, what is a POS?
A point of sale system. So your Square, your Stripe, your Clover, a system to where you put in the client's name, what they got, and how they paid, cash, credit card. So when you run that report, it's going to give you your sales for the month. And that should mirror what's in your business bank account.
So I was talking to my attorney, and they said every time a transaction is over $10,000, you should send them out some type of form.
That's going to be the form for the IRS.
Do you have to do that?
You're supposed to.
And if you don't?
You're supposed to.
Oh, damn. Okay. Wow, I ain't know that.
How long have you had your business?
I had my business for about 4 years.
Okay.
4 years. It's doing pretty good, too.
What all do you do?
I do education. I rap. I've been doing music for about 7, 8 years. I really just got into education about 2017. That's when I started learning about credit and how important credit was. Because I was buying cars in cash back in 2013. Like I bought my first Lambo in 2013. And when I bought it cash. And that's what made the FBI and stuff get on me as far as just buying Maseratis, buying Audis, buying Lambos. And I was just like, I don't want no note, but they raised red flags.
Correct.
It's like, where did you get this money from?
Correct.
So that's what taught. Then I'm like, damn, I need to start reading more books about credit and I'm starting learning from different guys, like, you should get loans and you should do this. And I'm like, get a loan. And I felt like getting a loan, was for people who, needed money. You know what I mean? I was, thinking all the way wrong.
Right,
and stuff, so.
Right.
And then I started learning about, debt is the way to get billions and millions and stuff like that. So that's what made me, stay focused on that.
So how many LLCs do you have?
I got 2. Do I need more?
Are you still rapping?
Yeah.
Are you still making money off of rap?
A little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So anything dealing with rapping should be its own separate entity. And then your credit business should be its own entity, and then you are a brand, so people are going to give you brand deals. That should be a separate entity for this reason. Let's just say if you're having your brand and your credit all in one, let's just say one of your credit clients sues you.
Right.
And for whatever reason, they win and they get $1 million judgment against you. They can now take all the money or assets of that LLC.
Okay.
So if you have the credit money along with the brand money coming in, you're kind of commingling two different businesses' assets in one entity, but they're going to be able to touch that. We don't want that. So if you had your brand monies in one pot, and then your credit money in one pot, and then your wrap money in one pot, if they touch the credit pot, the brand money's still going. Nothing's stopping that.
Okay, so like as far as the trust, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that why like people set up the trust accounts and stuff like that to protect themselves?
No. Okay. So for entity protection, you want to make as many buckets as possible.
Okay. And
buckets meaning different businesses.
Okay.
See, the biggest problem that most seasoned entrepreneurs do, they have one LLC and they're running everything. They got 4 locations in one LLC. They're going to get 5 different DBAs, which is don't be asked out. It's not anything you want. You don't want a DBA, you want an LLC. And they have all these things all flowing under one LLC. So when something happens, because in business something's going to happen. Something always happens. Right? Now, when they're suing that one LLC, when that cash flow stops, because see, cash flow is king. Everyone's going to say credit's king. Cash flow is king in a business. Yeah. When that cash flow stops, when they start seizing those assets for a business that has nothing to do with the other one, now how do you make your payroll? How do you pay your mortgage? How do you pay your car note? Now you got to tell your wife she got to turn in that luxury car. Now your kids got to come out of AAU basketball or ballerina. Now we can't do private school. Now you arguing in a home. Now you're not having sex. Now you're in divorce court and bankruptcy, all because you did not have all these different buckets. So you're setting up these different entities to spread out your spread out your cash flow, so if something happens, you don't lose everything. Wow. The same with your assets. So if you own all these cars, you shouldn't own them in any kind of LLC that's doing business. So if Credit LLC owns your Lamborghini and you get sued in the Credit LLC, they can now take your Lamborghini. We don't want that. So I always talk about forming a holding company, which would be similar to a trust, but it's an entity. You're going to have a holding company own all of your assets. So all your cars, all your trademarks, if you own the copyright to any of your songs, all the copyrights, all the assets would be held in the holding company. You'll have a lease agreement between the holding company and your entity to be able to use those assets. So if the credit company were to get sued, you won't lose the Lamborghini. You won't lose the asset. Right. So it's like minimizing your risk.
So for somebody that's watching, how do they get in tune with like somebody to form that?
You can have a business attorney form it, or
like
they can get me to form it and set their holding company up. Mm-hmm.
What does that cost?
I charge $550.
Oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
So they form it and they can just put all their assets in it and
correct. Okay. And I'll give them a lease agreement to be able to run it between the two entities. And I'm going to explain to them. So we're forming it. So really, you're going to have a lease transaction between your operating LLC and the holding company. Right. But it has to be a real transaction. See, a lot of times we just set things up not knowing why we're setting them up, and then we don't run them effectively. So every single month, your credit company is going to write a check or wire money over to your holding company for $1,000 a month to be able to use the Lamborghini. Right. That way, when a lawsuit hits, because see how I'm telling you how to protect your assets, there's a whole bunch of another attorneys talking about how do I tear all this stuff down.
Damn.
So once they find out, oh, I'm about to sue BANDMAN. Wait, he has no assets in that entity. Oh, a holding company owns it. Let me see. Let me see the bank account. Let me see where you pay these rental agreements to your holding company. If you don't have that, then you don't have all this stuff that I'm telling you doesn't really stick. See, a lot of times we form the LLC, but we don't keep it active, and it's inactive. Or we got the bank account, but ain't no money up in it. We don't always follow through with how we're supposed to run it, like Walmart.
So, Also, do you help people set up businesses the correct way?
Correct. I do it from the beginning to the end. So I'm going to give you a consultation as to what you need to do, but more importantly, why you need to do it.
And how much would that cost?
I charge $500.
That's it?
That's it, because I have been an entrepreneur since 2004. In 2004 was no such thing called mentorship. Right. My mentorship was losing 5-6 figures, wasting time, bumping my head over the wall, okay? Yeah. So I want to take my 20 years of real business experience and teach people this is what you really need to do and why. And I'm going to tell you why from all of my life lessons, all of my learning lessons, all the mistakes I made. I ain't got to Google nothing. I ain't got to read a book. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do and why to do it. I'm going to give you a real story. So as you think about going and taking your business card and going to Walmart and swiping it for a personal expense, you remember me saying you may lose your house. You may lose everything because you swiped the business card for a personal expense. That's called commingling. That's how they pierce the corporate veil, meaning take everything. So yes, you formed the LLC, but you went and you turned up last night in Miami, and you went to the hookah bar, and you went to the strip club, and you just swiped that business card. That means they can now go take if a lawsuit were to happen and you were found liable and they got a judgment against you, they can now pierce all what you formed. It's not just forming the LLC, it's running it like it's Walmart. Is the CEO of Walmart taking the business card and going to the hookah bar? No, he's using that as his personal card, unless it's a business expense. Like you're taking a client or someone out, blah, 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 but you have to run it like it's a business.
Okay, what if you have a business and it's an entertainment business?
That if it's not the type of business, it's what the expense is for. So if you want to take everyone to the Miami Dolphins game on the business, then that's an expense. Okay? But if you're just doing something.
What if you go out to eat?
If you go out to eat and you're talking about business, the new IRS rule is that you have to write who was there on the receipt, what about business was discussed, and it needs to be a reasonable meal. So we don't need to go buy 6 bottles because that's not going to be reasonable.
Wow. You for real?
Dead serious. Have you ever been audited by the IRS? I have. And they're going to come in. And my mistake was I didn't realize that the ink on the receipts evaporate. So, so you need to either scan or copy your receipt. So I had an audit with the IRS agent from hell who went back 4 years, and I'm like, I'm ready. I pulled out it was blank. All those hard copy receipts, empty. And then they're going to say, do you know what's IRS section? No. Got hit with a 6-figure tax bill. Yep.
Wow, for real?
For real. So the rule is, and I had my dinner receipts, and they say, well, do you know that a person's who was there, what was discussed? I didn't have that written on the back of the receipt.
I ain't gonna lie, that's scary. For real, like, dang, like, so you basically saying you should, as I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an entertainer, you basically saying that I should use my card for what then? Like, just because if I want to do like the things that I do for my business, it's like.
Tell me what you do for your business.
Okay, social media. So run ads.
That's a business expense.
Pay for promo.
Business expense.
I might go buy clothes.
Not a business expense.
How?
How is clothes a business expense?
Because I'm the person that's.
No. The IRS rule is that it has to be a uniform, and you have to have your company logo on the item. So you have a really cute outfit today, got your little hoochie daddy shorts on, got them legs kicking, I see you. Yeah. You got to throw in BANDMAN's logo on top of that logo for that to be considered a business expense.
Wow. Mm-hmm. So I spent $1 million and some on clothes, well, over in 1 month, and my and she told me, she was like you're spending way too much money on clothes, like this is not smart, you know what I mean? And I was basically like, she was like, so why are you buying all these clothes? And I was just like, it's for my image, it's helping me get bigger or whatever. But by you just saying that, that's cool. That's wild. I would have I see why people get into brand deals, yeah.
You need to have a brand deal or start putting your logo on the clothes.
Yeah, damn.
But here's the thing. People buy from who they like, know, and trust. Yeah. if they like you, whether that shirt says Aloha Beach Club
right.
or it has nothing, I like you.
Right.
I like you. So you don't need all that. See, a lot of times business understand that they need all this extra stuff. I need all this inventory. I need this. But it's like, are you even hot yet?
What about jewelry?
As a business expense?
As a rapper?
See, the business expense is going to be in the IRS code, something that is needed for business. You do not need a chain to rap.
Oh, my God.
None of this is a business expense.
Damn. That's wild.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah. So,
but I have a course that I teach because here's the thing, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Right.
And a lot of stuff that I know is because how you having this aha moment, I had the aha moment also in life, right? And I realized, whoa, I thought I was doing it right and I wasn't doing it right. So I have a course that teaches you exactly from conception to the end, how you should be starting, forming, running, marketing your business. Because you think I'm a rapper, I gotta look the part and have the clothes and have the jet and all that. But that's not always going to be the business expense. Now, if you're traveling for business, yes, that's an expense. If you're going to be going out to eat and like kind of networking with people, but you got to write that person's name on the back of the receipt. And what about business was discussed?
So as far as like forming an LLC, do you believe that age is better than just forming a brand new LLC? Buying an age LLC?
See, when it comes, for funding or just to have?
Yeah, for funding. Because, I mean, after 3 years, that's when you really can get funding, right?
You can get funding, but it's also going to be based off the business revenue.
Yep.
So if your business doesn't have any revenue, what was the point of buying the age company?
For sure.
It's like having your grandma. She's 90, right? But if she's paid cash her entire life and her FICO score is 0, it's because you go sit grandma in the bank and she's 90, they're not going to give her a loan because you got to have so many years in business, plus you got to have business revenue to walk into the bank.
Right.
So I always tell people, just form your LLC now. How I'm telling you to have 4 or 5 or 6 LLCs. You can actually form an LLC today. In 2 years, you can go sell your LLC as a shelf corp.
Or we can pay you to form it, right?
Correct.
And then what about, the address, the phone number, the website, you do all that?
All that.
Oh, okay. And only for $500?
No, that one's not just $500.
Oh,
okay. Forming the entity is the $500.
Okay. So
right.
how much you charge for that?
It depends on all what you need.
Okay. So you
because see, some people can take my direction and run with it, and some people want me to hold their hand. So
we'll be better just paying you for mentorship.
Correct.
How much you charge for that?
I charge $5,000.
Right,
you spent $1 million on clothes?
More than that.
You're lying.
I'm telling you.
No, you're not.
It was on a
For what?
I don't
what?
know.
What?
I was literally going to like Gucci and Louis Vuitton every day.
Why?
Literally. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Do this. Be the brand guy that's not in the brand. Like that could be a whole, like you could do a whole movement as being that man, and I'm in a polo shirt or I'm in like just something that's just real regular.
Yeah.
It may not be cool, right? But you may be able to catch fire by empowering these other who's looking up to you.
Yeah.
They can't afford that.
No, they was basically telling me that I should form like my own brand or come out with my own stuff, because the money I spent, I could have bought my own.
And then everyone's buying BANDMAN.
But how I was thinking that, I was like, if I spend this much money on clothes, I can go to these events and stuff like that and network. And I met a lot of rich people, that I'm still working with today.
But see, you think the rich people came to you because of the clothes. The rich people came to you because they see your aura. They see this is a nice guy. Yeah. It wasn't, rich people don't look at clothes.
So I had to actually pay to get in the room though.
That's why they were talking to you. It wasn't the clothes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because my brothers are the country club. And the people that have the jets, who are taking 40 of their friends for a 4-day vacation, and we're paying, they're in
regular stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not, that's not is what's getting their attention.
Right. For sure.
So you don't even need that. We think all this, but the person with the most money doesn't want to be seen.
No.
The person with the most money just wants to be in the cut.
So I want to know, how did you actually become a business attorney?
I went to law school. I'm playing. I went to law school. I was I went to school to get my MRS degree, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I was into being cute. Like my nails gonna match my outfit every single day. Yeah. And I had a good 1.7 GPA. And my mama was just like, what is you doing? Right. Yeah. And so I stumbled upon, I'm gonna just take this. I stumbled upon a communication law course where I learned about like the paparazzi rights and all that good stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to be a lawyer. So went to law school, became a lawyer, had my own, worked for a firm, worked for a tax and asset protection firm for about a year. And then I saw how much money they were making off of me. And I was like, oh, I'm about to go do my own thing.
Right.
So I went and started the Hunt Law Group, had my own practice. But no one back in 2004, 2005 wanted entrepreneurship. Everyone wanted that 9-to-5 job. So I really started doing criminal law.
Oh, okay.
So I would go to the club 3 days a week and pass my card out. Right. I went to the hottest strip club and had my face on the bathroom walls on all the bathroom stalls to get my name out. Right. And then as my law office grew, I realized I can only make money when I show up to court. Like everything's dependent on me. So that's when I started my businesses. I first started a hair boutique, then I had a hair salon, then I had 10 salons, then I had a car dealership because I wanted to stop making money based on me showing up.
Right.
And so I really stopped practicing law when my son was born and just went into full entrepreneurship. So people think I'm this influencer. I'm not really an influencer. I got online because, as I was telling you earlier, I left the toxic marriage. Husband got mad that I was actually leaving because I'm the brains of everything. But I still said, I'm still going to work. I'm like, I'm not tripping. Well, he shot at me at our dealership in front of our son. So I had to then up and leave and move to Florida. Right. I'm still working remote, running the business remotely. And then when I wouldn't drop the charges, he took all the money out of our accounts and then locked me out of our businesses. Damn. So February of 2022, my mama paid my rent. I didn't have any money, and I turned my phone on. And I just started talking about all the business mistakes I've made, all the business tips. I started selling a grant bundle, and I just prayed, God, I say, I just need my rent money. I just need God. If you can give me my rent money, I can hustle up everything else. And that first month, God blessed me with 3 times what I asked. When I was like, you know what? I'm really going to, I didn't think that you can make money online. Right. So I was just like, oh, this online stuff really works. So I was like, let me actually put some makeup on and let me actually put some thought on. Let me go ahead and give people what they want. So I started actually just going online and it just grew and grew and grew and grew. And I do not talk about finances because I am still in litigation, but we are now 3 years in fighting over this business. I've been able to pay all my attorney's fees, 6 figures in attorney's fees, all from selling a digital product and just turning the camera on and talking about what I know. Wow. So besides helping people, I also want to help empower women because when you leave a toxic relationship, you're going to leave with nothing. Like whatever is less than nothing, they're gonna mess up your credit. They're going to leave you emotionally drained. You are going to have nothing. They're going to follow no court orders. So whenever they're just going to drain you. Like we had a deposition maybe 2 months ago, and with my soon-to-be ex-husband, and it lasted all of 15 minutes because after we were sending him documents to read, he just said, "Oh, I can't read. I can't read." And my attorney's like, you know that I can't read. So that's 3 plane tickets, hotel, car rental, but I had it. So I want to help empower women that don't rely on no man. He's not going to pay the child. Not no man, the toxic man. The toxic man, he's not going to pay the child support. Yeah. He's not going to follow any court order because it's going to cost you money to go into court to fight. So I want to be able to empower women to be able to stand on their own, but starting with nothing. So you don't have the money for X, Y, and Z. We're going to still get you started.
Right. So as far as relationships, are you in one right now?
I am not.
Oh, okay. So do you think that the past relationship is messing up the future of what
Of course. Well, Monkey ain't gonna stop no show, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay,
no.
Okay. You know, some people will be messed up. Because how long you was in that?
This would be 14 years.
That's a long time.
I left I was with him for 2 years, left the marriage at 11 years. And we've been 3 years out. But I was determined that I wasn't going to let this define me.
For sure.
So I took a year before I even talked about any part of my story therapy. I had to get out of therapy because normally in a divorce, like the divorce is the big whammy, and then you can heal. At my divorce, the cheating and the affair and the divorce, that was the stuff got worse afterwards, right? Like then the shooting, then the no money, then he comes and he'll get our son.
Shooting when it's crazy. That's crazy.
He comes and get our son, 4 times a year. Driving around Rolls-Royce Cullinan. We got money, Kevin, but he only comes 4 times a year because he's trying to break me. He knows I'm really big into family, right? So you're just not going to come get your son, but you can come to Miami, but you
yeah.
Okay. So you as a woman or as a person, whoever's in that toxic environment, you have to build yourself up, learn boundaries, but you have to heal because I don't want to bleed on the next person. I want my real husband to come in and then I'm going off on him or I'm spazzing out because I wasn't healed. So I've been doing the work to heal, to get over that. But then to realize, Joy, you was just with the wrong person. Sometimes you just make a bad mistake. Like stop pouring money into that business. It ain't working 10 years, baby. Close the door and start something new. Pivot, right? So no, I don't think it's going to hinder me from my next book.
As far as marketing, what was some mistakes you made in the past?
Marketing mistakes, I think I'm really a good marketer. So I really haven't made any, I don't think I would have made any, I won't say marketing mistakes. Some business mistakes I made would be starting a business that's too big, like as far as square footage being too big. Marketing mistakes that I see entrepreneurs making is trying to market a product, trying to wait before they market a product. They think I'm gonna get the storefront or I'm gonna get the website, the inventory, and I'm gonna go pay an influencer to do everything and bring it in. That's not marketing.
One of the marketing mistakes I made was actually seeing PRs with different celebrities and giving them a whole lot of money because I seen them as like, oh, they're gonna make me like this person. The whole time that they only have access to make that person bigger. But I'm coming in and I'm giving them 50,000, 100,000, 150,000, and they're like, oh, well, you got more work to do. You got to do this and you got to do that. And it never happened. So I spent about $300,000-400,000 on PRs who never did nothing for me. So that was one of my mistakes.
And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs do. They think I got to go get someone. Just explain your product. Sell the problem, you're the solution. What problem does your business solve? What problem does your service solve? You sell the problem and you're the solution. All you got to do is find the person that has that problem.
What's the most money you think you made off of being an attorney? I'm not
speaking anything finances.
Okay.
Because I'm still.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
still
Okay.
You know.
So what? So I noticed when you said that you are, one monkey don't stop the show or whatever. So what type of guy are you looking for?
I'm looking for an alpha man.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a provider, but a provider of stability, a provider of protect my emotions, can show my son how a man's supposed to treat a woman, open the doors, I'm looking for like a man's man, a Christian man's man.
Okay, so what's the age limit on there? What if he's like that at 22 or 23 or 25? Do he have to be a certain age?
Well, I think to be all of that, he would be a certain age.
Okay. I mean, do you think that it's a 25, 26, 27-year-old that's like that?
There may be, but a 26 or 7-year-old may also want a child. I'm not having any more kids.
Oh, okay. So as far as like dating wise, like going out on a date, can he take you anywhere?
Well, where's
like, okay, for instance, let's say if, I'm just like, all right, can we go out to eat? And I'm just like, we in Orlando, right? Or I'm like, it's an Applebee's up the street. Is that cool? Or do you have to go to like a 5-star restaurant?
Okay, to be honest, like a date, as long as I like you, we can go to Starbucks.
Okay,
we can go to the park. If I like you, we can go to the park.
Right.
I don't think the date makes anything. It's just that's just time that we're going to spend together. Now, are we going to go to Applebee's 5 days a week? No, baby, I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah.
But if you want to do an Applebee's, you want to do a Luby's, like that's just where we are. I'm not.
Okay, what do you expect on Valentine's Day or Christmas from a guy?
Go all the way out. All my love languages are all of them.
So like, okay, flowers and a card?
I said all out, Kevin. Is that all out?
Some shoes.
Is that all out?
Oh, so all out means what? 2,000, 10,000?
I'll say this. It depends on what would be all out for him.
Okay.
So if I'm dating someone and all out would be, flowers and a purse, and that was like all out for him, okay, well, cool.
Yeah.
But if I'm dating someone that can do more and he gave me, then I'm looking at him like, you didn't go all out. You got to be, because see, I'm all in.
Okay.
So it's not just one way. I'm going to go all out on you.
Oh, you're going to go all out. Okay.
So it has to be reciprocated.
Okay, let's say if they're on your level and they said, okay, all out, Christmas is coming up, a trip, a bag, which is about $10,000 to $15,000 and whatever else, right? So their birthday come around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you do for them? Would it be even? Because a lot of girls I dated, it's never been even.
Well, you probably never dated a girl that was on your level.
All right.
You're probably dating girls that are excited that you're whoever you are. So, oh my gosh. So yeah. True. So, guys don't really date girls for some reason that's
right.
the issue.
So,
but I'll give you an example. So before I was shot at, 2 months before that was my husband's, I won't say his age because he lies about his age and I won't lie for him. I mean, I won't spill the beans on him, but he was his birthday party. So I did a surprise birthday party. I ran out Steak 48.
Oh, okay.
I invited all his friends, had a videographer, and, he had that.
So what advice can you give an entrepreneur that's like just starting out, that's watching this right now?
So for an entrepreneur that's just starting out, I would have them know that you are your brand.
Right.
And you have to go sell yourself. So you should be selling the entire time. What do I mean? Number one, you have to look like money. Meaning you got to have your hair done, you got to have your makeup on, you got to have a haircut. When you walk out in public, you got to look like something. It doesn't have to be a designer, all right, but you have to look like something. And everywhere you go, you're looking to network, to start a conversation, to then pitch to them what your business is. So when I'm at the grocery store, whoever's behind me, I'm thinking my conversation to start. The cashier, boom, boom, boom. By the way, you have to always be selling yourself.
Sure.
Entrepreneur that's just starting out, I'm going to say you should have daily goals as to what you have to bring in for your business. So whatever is your monthly goal, break that into weekly, then daily goals. So if my daily goal was $300 for the day, I'm not stopping until I made $300 for the day. And then I got to go on live. I got to go hop in someone's DMs, telling them about a special. If I'm I may have to either put some clothes on and go out to Walmart and just start walking around, like trying to. I can't close my eyes until I met my daily goal. Right. It's not gonna be easy. Okay, you're not gonna be your entrepreneur. You quit your job and now you have no one to answer to. You have rent, mortgage, light. You got a whole lot of other people to answer to, right? But you can't quit. It's not going to be easy, but you got to just keep going. But you got to look the part. You got to be selling yourself nonstop.
So how important is mentorship to you?
Mentorship to me is priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless. It is priceless. Like I said, I didn't have mentorship growing up. Mentorship was called Hard Knock Lives. Okay, Hard Knock Lives. But being able to be with someone who's already been where you've been, already experienced what you've experienced, and they're gonna get you from point A to point B at a quicker time.
Right.
And time is priceless. You can't buy back time.
Right.
So I think everyone should be trying to get themselves to a place to where they can afford a mentor. I want mentorship. It's gonna cost you, right?
Yeah.
People always say, "Hey, I don't have any money, but can you mentor me?" Like, no, I don't mentor for free, right?
Exactly.
But get yourself to a place to where you can afford the mentorship, which will be get out of Gucci, get out of Louis. Like, stop trying to look the part. Take that money and invest it back in you. Personal development, going to conferences, getting a mentor to tell you what not to do, what to do, and how to get there. And not just get there, but stay there.
Right. Dating, right? You met a guy, does he have to have a certain credit score when you meet him? Like,
I'm looking for provider. That mentality. Okay. Open the door. You got to hit. Like anything, all the other stuff, a person's not going to come to you perfect, right? I'm looking for what are the core values in you. Right. Anything else, I can get you to that next level.
Oh, for sure.
But I can't give you manners.
No, for sure.
Right? Yeah. I can't give you a provider mentality. Yeah. I can't give you a hustle mentality. I can't give you self-confidence. I can't make you an alpha male. But anything else, a credit score, because see, what if he has a bad credit score because his multi-million-dollar business just went bankrupt?
For sure.
Well, on paper, if I'm looking at paper, oh my God, his credit score. But I know if he made it once, he can make it again, right?
For sure.
And all the lessons that he learned from that failed business on this new business, he's going to take all that experience, and the second one's going to hit. So why are you knocking someone because he got a bad credit score?
So a lot of people be DMing me talking about, because people be paying me for mentorships. And when I first came up, I was paying people for basically friendships to actually, because it's like this, if you pay them for business, then it's just a business, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Transaction. So I was like, what do I need to do to pay you to be your friend and do business with you? Because I want to be able to call you every day, all day, and then get to the next level with you. Because, like, the transactions type of wave, you get treated different. It's like, all right, I'm done with my job, next, and then you never talk to them again. So I was doing that, and people was kind of like damn near laughing, like, why would you pay for friendships? But people are paying me now for friendships. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's perfect because it's like, this is what you got to do to actually level up. I knew that if I knew what he knew, I'm not trying to be in competition, but I'm going to pass him up.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
right.
That's exactly what happened, because I'm like, if I'm pay you, I promise you I'm going to make my money off you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that was my mentality coming up. Like, how do you feel about people paying for friendships and stuff like that?
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
That's what true business is.
Yeah,
I'm paying for your connections. I'm paying to now be in the room. But once again, if you're paying someone for mentorship, see, there's different types of mentorships, right? There's the mentor who's, okay, what are your business goals? You want to get from point A to point B? Okay, bam, that's done. But then the other mentorship is, I want to be able to help cultivate you on the business side, but then I want to help cultivate you on the personal side, right? So there should be a bond between us. You should be able to call me if you have a problem. There should be the open line of communication, because I want to mentor the entire person.
Right. So as far as your business, I'm always on the blogs like every 2-3 days or whatever. Have you ever thought about, like, let me shift I spend a lot of money on ads, right? So what I do ads, I do blogs. Have you ever thought, like, let me start getting on more blogs or anything?
I just got a mentor.
Yeah.
And I'm just now starting to do paid advertisement. Everything I did before now was all organic.
Oh.
I've never paid for an ad on social media for this business.
Yeah. So as far as ads, like, I spend about $200,000 a month, right? But I make like 1.3. That's because I'm being forced in people's face that.
Correct.
Because we have so much competition.
Correct.
I'm sure, like, let's say if I was in your position, I would literally want to be the #1 business attorney. So I look at it like, in order to eliminate competition, you have to be seen so much, because they're seen so less.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So that's how I keep my business afloat. But as far as like blogs, I know you just get on social media. Is it messing you up by seeing negative things, like when people comment? People comment on me all the time, but I actually like seeing more negative, because it brings me more attention, but it gets me more sales.
When you're in business and you're like a known person in your city, like I've been handling hate forever, so it just comes with the territory. It's nothing new.
Some people get on there and can't handle it. They be like, "Oh my God, this is too much," and you know what I mean?
No. That's business. If you can't handle the good with the bad, then you shouldn't be in business. For
sure.
But to be honest, that's life. They're gonna talk about you regardless.
Even if you broke.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can an entrepreneur protect their intellectual property?
Okay, it depends on what is the intellectual property. So you are a rapper, right? So you should be owning your copyright.
How do they do that?
By a copyright transfer agreement. So copyright is going to be anyone who is writing for you, writing an ebook, taking your videos, taking your photos. The photographer owns the photo. The videographer owns the video. The person who wrote the song owns the copyright. Whoever creates the content owns it. Although you pay the videographer to follow you around Miami, he still owns that video. Do you recall that picture that Cameron took, and he had that pink furry hooded jacket on?
Yeah.
Do you know who Cameron is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You're young, but yeah. So that was like a really big picture back in my heyday.
Yeah.
He just started, putting that picture on T-shirts, and he had to take it down because he didn't own the photo. He actually got sued by the person who took the picture and made them take it down.
What?
Yes. So number one is you want to own all of your content, because eventually you're going to hit. When you first started, no one knew about you, right? But now people know about you. So there's actually a case out in Georgia called Sweetwater Brewery. It's a brewery company started 30 years ago. They hired their family friend, paid them $500 to draft their logo. 30 years later, the company sold for $300 million. What do you think the family friend did? They sued them for $30 million because they said, we own that logo because we designed that logo, although he was paid. So copyright has to be transferred in writing like real estate. So your videographer needs to have a copyright transfer agreement. So all the videos he makes of you, you own them. Your photographer, so to transfer the ownership.
Wow. This is crazy.
So number one, to own your photos, your logo, so your graphic designer, anyone who's making anything for you, if you have an employee who does your content, anyone who's doing anything for you, they own it. So you want to make sure that they sign a copyright transfer agreement.
Oh, okay.
Now to own like your logo, your trademark, that will be, your logo trademark. To have no one else use your logo or your slogan or your business name, that will be a trademark.
Right.
Some people have a formula. So if I have the best hair growth oil, I got the best barbecue sauce in the city.
Yeah.
I want to be able to copyright my recipe, but then I want to either do a patent or a trade secret so that no one can just take my recipe and duplicate it. I just posted an Instagram video today of this man from a barbecue shop. His employee worked for 25 years. She stole his recipe and is in an apartment complex selling plate lunches. And he's over there, tearing all her stuff. I'm saying, that's my recipe. Do you have a trade secret? Did you patent the form? If you don't protect it, anyone can take it.
So with the photos, what if they took the photos and the videos with your property, like your camera?
Whoever takes the picture owns it. So who was behind the camera? Because the copyright rule is that whoever creates the content owns it.
Wow, I never knew that.
So everyone who's walking around here with these videographers and these shooters, and you want to make sure you own it, because if you don't and that photo gets hot, that video gets hot, now they're gonna charge you a premium because they're gonna say I own that, and they're gonna come for you. That's just called business. It's grimy out here in these business streets. I say it all day, every day.
So you telling me, if a person is like, let's say if these big companies and the people that's working the cameras and stuff like that, they say they own it?
So what you would do is, if you have an employee working for you,
Yes.
in your employment contract, you'll have a copyright transfer agreement clause.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That says you work for me, but any content, anything that you create for me, I own.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. Wow, I never knew that.
So I can look at your agreement that you have for your employees and make sure that, that clause is in there for you.
Yeah, because it's wild. You know what's so crazy is, like, man, a lot of people going to watch this and they're going to be like, they're going to have to change some stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And I have a copyright transfer agreement on my website that they can get.
Yeah. I need that shit. I do a lot of work with a lot of people. That's what's so crazy. Like, even if you overseas and you just got to give them that, like.
Well, a contract will work for the U.S. because overseas is different rules.
Wow, that's wild.
But you want to make sure that everything that is related to you and your brand that you own, and you want to own it in the beginning. Versus now that you're hot, people don't want to charge a premium.
Right.
So a lot of times, a graphic designer, like, you want to own your logo, so you want to have them sign this agreement before you go and pay them for the logo.
Right. So it's a lot of people that's working with limited funds that's watching, I'm sure, That's why I sell like $30, $50 packages and stuff like that. What advice can you give them?
If you are working with a limited budget, be creative. Okay, Be creative, meaning I believe in the philosophy, make money by Monday. What can I do today to make money by Monday? It doesn't have to look perfect. Just get the content or the product out. When I first started selling hair extensions, I had never worn weave in my life. My boyfriend at the time, had hair extensions. I watched the movie Good Hair, never knew it was that much money in weave.
Oh,
okay, sure. So I invested in the company, we partnered together, and I would sell hair extensions out of my law office in the conference room. So start where you can start. You may be selling it out your mama's house, out the trunk of your car. But have you ever gone and bought a CD or some pecan candy or something, that was kind of bootleg? Get the product out.
Right.
once you get the clientele, you'll have the cash flow to then reinvest, to then be able to get better packaging, get a storefront, get some marketing ads, but get the product out. I think people are too scared to look bootleg in the beginning. Everything has to be picture perfect. Just get the product out.
Right. So as a serial entrepreneur, do you believe that you could have still been successful in any other field besides being a business attorney?
Yes. See, I believe that you are not just like, don't box yourself in. Like, you're more than just a rapper, right? You can do anything as long as you learn what that industry is. Exactly. So when I got into the hair industry, when I had my hair salons, I could do a sewing, I can cut you, I can color you, I can do everything but a front. I can explain everything that has to be done. So, because number one, you need your employees to be able to respect you. If they know that I don't know, then that level of respect just drops, right? But when there's an issue, I can tell you everything around that issue. So you got to be the expert in that industry. Right. So you don't have to go to school or get an MBA, but you have to become an expert in that industry. So now, if you're an online influencer, you got to know everything about being an online influencer. Right.
So me, right, I run into guys or whatever, and they've been rapping since like 2012. And it's 2024, you know what I mean? Do you think that, like, after a certain amount of time, if you didn't make it into something that's successful, like, should you just give up? Like,
I wouldn't use the word give up. I would say the word pivot. So if you've been rapping since 2012,
right,
and
you haven't generated no money.
You haven't generated any. Rapping may not be your calling.
Right.
But maybe writing a rap is your calling.
Making a beat, or
maybe making the beat. Yeah. But see, you have to kind of know, baby, if it's not working, like, let me throw some sauce on. Do everything you can, change your image, throw some sauce on it. But if all of that has happened and it still hasn't hit, right, it's now time to pivot.
For sure.
It's now time to do something else.
So that's with everything, I feel like, with everybody, not just music, just
correct.
Anybody that's doing something for a long time and they feel like this is my calling. Clearly it's not, because it's like so long. I just feel like people got to switch up things. Like me, I literally can do any and everything, like computer stuff. I even can shoot my own videos and edit video. You know what I mean? Like, I can literally do all that because I just feel like whatever I see somebody can do, I can do it. Type of vibe. You know what I mean? So that's how I really got to this level at this point. But I was rapping, but I was just like, I need to try to do this and try to do that, and like I was literally doing everything, but people was like, man, you should focus more on rap, because if you focus more, I'm like, no, I don't want to like put all my attention into one thing when I can just, because you never know what it might take off. You give this 12%, this 12%, So that's how, and whichever one took off, that's how I got to this level. Yeah.
Well, let me say this. Now, I am under the belief that you have to put all your effort into one thing to get it hot before you venture off. So I've run multiple businesses at the same time, but I got one business hot first. Right. And then once I got that one business hot first, then I put my hands in different fires. Okay. But I think everyone is different.
Yeah.
So I've always had 2, 3 at one time. Another person may not be able to do 2, 3 at one time.
So you talk a lot about grants on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is that process like?
So grants are a great way for business owners to get capital in their business, because you don't have to pay the money back.
Oh, you don't have to pay the money back?
Don't pay the money back.
So I can get a grant right now?
You can get a grant right now. You got an LLC. You got an EIN. You got a business bank account. You can get a grant.
Do you have to have a certain amount of credit score?
You have an LLC.
Yeah.
You have an EIN. You got a business bank account.
Yeah.
You can get a grant.
For how much?
A grant is free.
No, I'm saying though, like,
the range of money, they have $500 grants, they have $200,000 grants. See, business grants are going to be free money for your business to get in. Why do I like grants for new entrepreneurs? Because people want to go out here and max out these credit cards, get these loans, and on the first, that note is due. Right. Depending on your business where you are, you may not have the cash flow to pay additional bills. So the great thing about business grants is, number one, they're not based on credit. Good credit, no credit, doesn't matter. It's not based on credit. Number two, they don't need any kind of business financials, a P&L, tax returns. They don't need that. There's no limit to how many grants you can apply for.
Wow.
So as long as you have your LLC, EIN, business bank account, because they're going to give the money to the business bank account, you can apply for a grant.
So for your mentorship fee, which is $5,000, you can teach us how to get the grant?
Correct. So you want to ask for things that are going to make you money. What does your business need that's going to make you more money? Do you need to maybe hire some staff to do like email, social media, answer the phone so you can be more in the business? Do you need to maybe remodel, get some inventory, get some equipment? What do you need? And you ask for that, showing how your business is unique. So what makes Kevin different than the other influencer?
Right.
And then why do you need the money? And there's no limit to how many grants you can apply for. I always tell entrepreneurs to apply for 5 to 10 grants every single month. And you can be getting free money into your business that you don't have to be repaid. Now, what they do want is the aha story at the end. So, hey, Kevin, we gave you $10,000 last year. What'd you do with the money? Oh, man, I was able to boom, 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 boom. Oh, thank you. Yes, but most entrepreneurs are going to say, well, I never wrote a grant before. I don't have time. I don't know. So on my page, I would really do walkthrough grants where there's just 4 questions that are asked. And they're super simple to show people how simple it is to apply for business grants.
Dang. I didn't know that.
And it's free money. You don't have to pay it back. So it's not going to affect your cash flow. So depending if you're starting your business or you may be expanding your business. So if you're going through an expansion, cash flow is limited because you have all these other expenses. So it's a way to get free cash flow into your business that you don't have to pay back. And there's no limit to how many that you can get in a year.
Wow, that's wild. That's what I need. I need them grants then. I need about 5 of them right now. So how many students you think you have right now?
I have over about 15,000 students.
Wow, good.
Who I'm helping with their business.
So as far as success stories, you know, that's with your students, like give us a couple of success stories you think you got right now.
For a success story, you know, I'm big on changing the person. Because I think once the person changes, everything changes. And a lot of times the person is just looking in the wrong direction and just a small pivot. So I had a young lady, she was selling a branding book and it was really good. But the book itself was good, but, you know, it's not just the product. You have to know how to market it.
No, for sure.
And so it was just a whole bunch of just photos of the book. And so I asked her, well, why did you become an entrepreneur in the first place? And she was saying how growing up, she was always evicted because her mom was bad with money. And then she got with some toxic, you know, relationships. You know how that can go, boom, boom. So I said, why don't you start telling your story about you got into entrepreneurship because you knew that your mom was bad with money, so that now you know exactly how to handle money, which gives you credibility to be talking about this business structure notebook, because they're just looking at you like, who are you to know anything about budget and business structure? But if you can explain, and book sold out.
Wow.
Book sold out. It's on all these different platforms. She done bought her mama a house. It just took off. So sometimes where you are in your business, you just need a small pivot, just a changing something, and that's where you get your breakthrough.
Words of encouragement for everybody that's watching right now.
Okay, so for anyone who is watching, it's not where you start, it's how you finish, so finish strong. Always bet on yourself. You are you, and that is your superpower. So don't let anyone change you, deter you. Whatever is destined for you is for you. And whatever you need in life or in business is right there in front of you. You just got to figure out how to put these pieces together. But you ain't got to wait on the funding, you ain't got to wait on the opportunity. It's right there in front of you. You got to just figure out how to put it together.
All right, so I know you was talking about mentorship. Like, how could somebody contact you directly to be able to tap into all your services, get the grants, get everything, the setup, you know?
Everything. Okay, so I would say first, join my Still You Got the Bank University. I have a community of entrepreneurs who want to network. Number 2, do trainings, kind of walk you through business structure, marketing, grants, business credit, all that good stuff. Then to work with me directly, then from there you'll go to my mentorship program for just $5,000.
So how can they find you on social media? You just on Instagram, or you got like TikToks, Facebook?
I am on Instagram, JoyHunt_ESQ. I'm on TikTok, also same name, JoyHunt_ESQ.
Hey, Famous and Wealthy Podcast.